Bringing Laura Ingraham onto the couch,
hey guys.
who's been in the eye of the storm for the past, I don't know, 3 weeks.
I just came here for the push-ups.
Oh, really?
Right.
You're a little late.
Can you do them?
Yeah, I can do them.
Are you kidding? She's a college softball player.
I'm gonna leave it to all the police out there, and Hegseth was out there. He was.
Yeah.
No.
I was like, come on, like he's like guns.
Oh,
man.
no kidding.
Right?
Very impressive. That's why we weren't
How much
doing
time
it.
do you spend in the gym there, Pete? I mean, that's a lot of hours.
Right.
All right,
So let's talk about what happened yesterday.
Yep.
Do you think that it was this is something that really worked, bringing over the media
It was
heads?
surprising, and it was first reported as a big blow-up. And so when you first read the New York Post and the Daily Beast, it was a blow-up. But then you heard from other folks who said Trump wasn't yelling at anyone.
Yeah.
He spoke in very measured tones, and he said, you guys didn't tell the truth about me. And I guess he said lied. But again, it's supposed to be off the record. But when you bring the press in and you say off the record, and then you go after the press, you know they're all hurt egos. They're going to spill the beans. So, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the point was of that behind closed doors
Just
dressing
to say
down.
You got it wrong.
Yeah, I always think of these meetings as what's your ultimate goal?
Absolutely.
What's your ultimate goal with bringing all these people in? And a friend of mine texted me and said, well, now they're just going to hate him more. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But you know, Donald Trump's going to make his own way with the press, and he's probably going to do a lot of those videos, I would imagine.
Sure.
Where it's straight to the American people, go around the press.
That's like Twitter.
Well, I mean, it worked.
Yeah,
It worked.
Well, on Twitter this morning, Donald Trump, 45 minutes ago, tweeted this: I canceled today's meeting with the failing New York Times when the terms and conditions of the meeting were changed at the last moment. Not nice. Apparently, they were going to have something off the record and then on the record. Then he also wrote, perhaps a new meeting will be set up with the New York Times. In the meantime, they continue to cover me inaccurately and with a nasty tone.
The New York Times' respond, they said, quote, we did not change the ground rules at all and made no attempt to.
The ground rules were, it's going to be, some of it will be off the record, some of it will be on the record. Kellyanne Conway was going to be there, Reince Priebus, and Ivanka.
Well, I mean, I think that the best thing right now for the country is to see forward movement on these policies. I think once President-elect Trump starts moving forward on tax reform, enforcing this border, which is a complete disaster from all the Border Patrol agents we're talking to at LifeSet, this flow across the border is unprecedented.
Especially now, right?
Now, because everyone's trying to get across before, I guess, January 20th. Do these policies. I think the country is going to get better. I think the economic landscape's going to get better. There's going to be actually more transparency about what's happening. He's already telegraphing what he's going to do on executive order rescinding, on moving forward with certain legislation.
Drilling.
He did that, drilling. He's telling people what he's going to do. Things are going to get better. When things start getting better in the country, I think a lot of this other stuff's going to kind of dissolve away. Not that the press is going to be less aggressive. They should be aggressive. I think the press should be a check on all elected officials. They should have been tougher on Obama in the first 100 days. They weren't. They were lavishly heaping praise on his burger runs. Remember, every time he did a burger run with Biden and Brian Williams in the back seat, Obama had his feet up on the.
Well, he said he was in the back seat. We don't know.
Oh yeah, exactly. No, he was. The video was there, but it was the most fawning coverage of Barack Obama in the first 100 days. I'm not expecting that, and I don't think that's appropriate. But I think people are just looking for fairness, just general sense of fairness from the press.
And you're right about transparency, because he just goes straight to Twitter. And then yesterday, he went straight to YouTube. He didn't call all the reporters and say, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do in my first 100 days. He set up a camera and a teleprompter out at his golf club out in New Jersey, and this is what he had to say about the next 100 days.
I am going to issue our notification of intent to withdraw from the Trans-Pacific Partnership, a potential disaster for our country. Instead, we will negotiate fair bilateral trade deals that bring jobs and industry back onto American shores. On energy, I will cancel job-killing restrictions on the production of American energy, including shale energy and clean coal, creating many millions of high-paying jobs. On regulation, I will formulate a rule which says that for every one new regulation, 2 old regulations must be eliminated. On immigration, I will direct the Department of Labor to investigate all abuses of visa programs that undercut the American worker. On ethics reform, as part of our plan to drain the swamp, we will impose a 5-year ban on executive officials becoming lobbyists after they leave the administration, and a lifetime ban on executive officials lobbying on behalf of a foreign government. These are just a few of the steps we will take to reform Washington and rebuild our middle class. I will provide more updates in the coming days as we work together to make America great again for everyone, and I mean everyone.
So many times people get elected.
Anything else?
People get elected to jobs in Washington, D.C. They go there, and then suddenly it's kind of like they've got amnesia. What did I say I was going to do? He's saying he would do that in part on the first day, or at least the first 100 days.
Right. I mean, he really is approaching this like this is a business plan. We formulated our business plan. We have to do the following 8 things to be successful.
It's our rollout.
And maybe it'll be the road show. I mean, I think before the inauguration, you'll probably see
President-elect victory tour plan.
Trump. He'll be going from the West Coast to the East Coast, being with actual Americans who are going to be affected all across the country, from the West to the East, by these policies and these changes. I think that video was really smart. Yeah. Really smart, because this is what I'm going to do. Now, it's on video. He's saying he's going to do this. If he doesn't do this, the press should hold him accountable.
Sure. Right.
But there'll be compromises, I'm sure, on some of the nuances of these policies. But he said, this is my goal. This is what I'm setting about to do. It's pretty refreshing.
He talks about producing our own energy here in America. He says through clean coal, through shale, we can do this. So we're not relying on other countries, and we can keep jobs here in America. Well, Huffington Post this morning, I'm Googling it to find the articles, say what he's going to do in the first 100 days. Huffington Post pops up, and this is their headline. It's official. Donald Trump's first 100 days will be horrible for the planet.
Well, they're the same people who said the economy probably would collapse when the stock market would fall into the ground.
They wouldn't cover him as a political candidate because they felt that he was a joke. Remember?
Right. So the Huffington Post is the Huffington Post. I don't think any of that matters. I'm just going to stick to what I was saying earlier. If he does these policies, bilateral trade that we can change. If a bilateral trade agreement doesn't go our way and it's not helping Americans, we can alter it. With a TPP, you couldn't do that. You have 17 countries, and trying to alter that would bring hundreds of billions of dollars of penalties onto the American people, into the U.S. government. We can't do that. He said he wasn't going to do that, and he's not, which is really, really smart.
So he's got a couple of things to do. Repeal and replace Obamacare. Do you need 60 votes? We'll debate about that. What does he have ready to go? It looks like the House is the closest thing with the official plan ready to go. Do you think he'll do that? Number 2, do you think he's going to roll out a $1 trillion infrastructure plan? And if so, how do you pay for it?
Yeah, well, I think that the working with the Democrats on infrastructure is going to be something that conservatives are going to look at very carefully, because we do have to pay for all this. Now, we do have to do some of this, too. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. When bridges and roads are in the shape that they are in, and some of the airports are in the shape that they're in, JFK, sorry, then we have to do something about it. But I think Republicans, this is why we have an aggressive check in Congress. We have the House and the Senate, and Republicans who campaign on fiscal responsibility. They have to hold the executive branch accountable, and I think they should.
So you're not happy with that $1 trillion?
Well, I think it has to be explained in a way that makes fiscal sense. If we're going to grow this economy, and I think this economy is going to move like a rocket ship over the next 18 months especially. You're going to see a movement in this economy across the board. That will bring in more tax revenue. We're going to repatriate money coming back into the United States that's been now offshored. That money is going to bring enormous growth to the U.S. economy. So I think you're going to see higher tax receipts. But I think it has to be responsibly done. Otherwise, you hurt your own narrative. So I think it's tough. I mean, replacing and repealing Obamacare is going to require the prescription drug companies in the country to realize we have to be able to compete just like OECD countries get the lowest possible prices for drugs. Why don't the American people get that through Medicaid and Medicare? So there are a lot of things that have to be done to keep the prices of health care down.
The devil's in the details.
All right,
see what the plan
tough stuff. Great to see you guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
She's going to go run her radio show here in about 45 minutes and run LifeSet as well.
Exactly, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.